Good evening, sir. Today we are talking about the remaining topic of the foundry as well as steel plant. Yesterday we are talking up to the foundry process like various steps, degating and all these things foundry. Coming to this point, yes, these are the melting and degassing, mold making and all. Up to degassing we are talking about. The mold making also we are already discussed. The mold making means before pouring into the melt into the mold should be prepared in the presence of the various
देखो
material and the
पूरा जो है
the hello.
हिस्ट्री के सब्जेक्ट हम लोग उसमें भी पढ़े थे।
Then coming to the pouring is already discussed about this pouring depending upon this mold. Then shakeout. Shakeout is very important post pouring. That means after pouring, the post pouring is the shakeout phase commences here is during a shakeout. These are not necessary, but what we are understanding this while taking this step, the employees are very unsafe conditions are there, unsafe acts are there. That means in the position of the operating by the crane and all this thing by pouring the smelt into the cash. That's why I'm telling these are the some procedures are there while doing the our as a safety engineer we should take about what is shakeout, what is pouring, and all what are the safety measures to be taken like this. SOP will speak. However, what is called if you know the depth of the steps involved in the foundry process, therefore it will be very easy to advise them to take care of the safe manner and all. Separated for the molds here after they separate for the molds before we have to shake and this means some hammering will be taken in the outside surface of the cast mold by losing the lock inside the shape. Subsequently, the degating, what we degating, that means the impurities which are the layers between the surface of the casting, surface of the mold making, as well as this smelt making. That is a small layer will be there that will be by shaking it will be coming out. During with excess of material is known as gates. Wherever the excess materials are there, even that is stick to the smelt material, smelting as well as this molten melt, as well as the casting surface also, casting surface also. That that is called the excess materials where it is very hard. That will be become a very hard to remove, very sensitive to remove also. That's why is removed from the casting. This meticulous step, that means important step, ensures that the final cast iron components adhere to the specified dimensions and the quality of the standard. Because while hammering also, while shaking of the various process also doesn't the mold shape will not be disturbed. Like that we have to, otherwise the final product will be damaging and all. And the aesthetic look will not come to the final product. That's why the shakeout is very important. The part of parcel of the some gates we called as a some additional materials, some excess materials will keep into the by holding in the cast molding itself. That should be removed. How it is removed? The key points about the gating is what it removes, why it's important, and methods of degating it. The excess material that connects the casting to the pouring system includes gates, runners, war flows. That means where the war flows are there in the casting also, some the surface of the casting will be taking some the molten melt with dried and all. After cooling, it becomes a very hard also. That we call excess materials. While shaping that materials, that gates will be very important to taken care of. Otherwise, I told this final product will be impacted in the shape of or in the aesthetic look and all this thing. Why it is important here? Degating is a crucial to achieve a finished product with the desired shape and dimensions as well as the clean aesthetic appearance. That means a final product which looks the very attractive and all, then only we will be having a purchasing, or we can do the vertical shape of this, or we can attract him to purchase also. The customer wants also, doesn't want to any some dents like this, then what is the disturbance in the final product and all that. That may the degating process after the shakeout is very, very important. Both are shakeout and degating in simultaneous process and all, but both are very important to affect the final product and finishing also. Methods of degating is manual removal and automated methods also. Normally, in the steel plant of Visakhapatnam, they have what is called automated methods and the manual removal. Both are there. They can do the what is called by using some hammers and all, by using some shakings and all these things, using hand tools like knives, files, and grinders carefully cut away the excess materials. Automated method means employing machines like deburring machines and trimming machines, trimming robots for more precise, consistent defeat. Because during the removal of the degating, that excess materials, the final product will be affected. That's why the scratches or the roughness will not be happened on the surfaces, because the very hard material is there getting. That's why we have to very sensitive area to take care of. Then heat treating. After the heat treat, after taking out the shape or mold shape from the casting, a light heating is to be given to remove the what is called this whatever the boundary process having the some pores or air gaps are there. Till after degassing also some desired specification may not come depending upon that. That's why heat treating is the one of the best procedure to give the before surface cleaning also. Heat treating an indispensable, that means important element of the foundry process, enhances the mechanical properties of the cast iron. Definitely heat treating is the some shining process is there, which gives the good look or aesthetic appearances for the product. This controlled heating and cooling process imparts the strength and durability to the components, aligning them with the desired specification. Because the after the pouring, it is getting cooled, and then removal, and then degating, and then heat treating. Again, heat treating will give the lot of importance, where the alignment in the inside the molecules will be taken care of, because the blocks will be purchased to the customers by the industry. Again, the customers taking the blocks or the taken into their organization. Again, they're melted to decide to make the desired shapes. That's what the process is involved here. Steel plant is not making, or foundry is not making the simply the vessels or what is called the any kitchen tools and all. Only blocks will be prepared. The blocks will be sold to the customers. But whereas the beams, channels, what we call this wires and all these things, the steel plant will be prepared. But in the foundry, only we will place only the blocks will be prepared and sold to the customers. That's why by the blocks will be, or the shapes or blocks will be very attractive. Otherwise, the customer will not be entitled to purchase it. And surface cleaning also is there. The treatment of the pores is desired specification to achieve. The cast iron components then undergo surface cleaning. Surface cleaning means eliminating any residual material, because any remaining materials after taking the various steps of this degassing, pouring, and all these things, then there is some chance of remaining some residuals also, imperfections, or refining the product further. Therefore, the surface cleaning also necessary after the heat treatment. Surface cleaning is important. The following heat treating, that means followed by the heat treating, next to the heat treating, the cast iron compounds undergo surface cleaning. That means outside surface very should be clean. And this stage aims to eliminate any residual materials, remaining materials we called as, or imperfections. Any surface area is not the smooth, or any dents are there or any lines are there, a roughness is there. That means that's called imperfections on the surface of the castings. Therefore, refining of the final product will be difficult. That's why the surface cleaning is also important before finishing the total, final product and all. Surface cleaning enhances not only the removal of residual materials, but also enhances the both the aesthetic appearance, that means looking very attractive appearances, and the functional aspects of the cast iron components, ensuring that they meet stringent standards set by the cast iron manufacturers. Because the blocks taken by the cast iron manufacturers, where they can prepare at their industries the desired shapes and all, like kitchen utensils, wires and all these pipes and all these things. They have to attract the molds, otherwise they cannot purchase. Final finishing is the concluding. The phase is finishing, wherein the cast iron components undergo various treatments to achieve the desired appearance and texture. Texture means looking, even a human person is looking an objective, definitely it will be attractive by seeing this texture of the block. That's why the grinding, polishing, and coating may be employed in this stage. See how the very important grinding, polishing, and the coating may be employed in this stage depending on the intended application of the aesthetic requirement. Aesthetic. Depending upon the cast iron manufacturers, we have to see that the blocks are taken by from us. What they are doing, first we have to know before our nation purchase and sold out the blocks. That's why on their importance, on their what is called the final product of the organization, the molds or the blocks or the foundries will be taken in a good shape, so that it will be, business will be very smooth and attractive productivity is there, and therefore the company image will be improved, and not only company improved, image will be improved, but productivity is also stand still. Coming to the last but not least, these are the different types of the foundries: captive foundry, independent foundry. We are not going to the deep into this. Jobbling foundry, production foundry, ferrous foundry, and non-ferrous. These are the as a safety we should know what are the types of foundry. Also, we should know that is a extra information to us. Wherever the necessary, we can apply our applications to inform the trainees or inform the employees wherever it is necessary. Applications of the cast iron foundry, where the purchase of the foundries, all the blocks purchased by the cast iron manufacturers and all, they will do what they will use in automotive industries, construction and infrastructure, railways, that means railway tracks and all, mining industries, water and wastewater treatment. That means the wastewater treatment or effluent treatment plant or sewage treatment plant, the only cast iron will work very healthy, and the corrosion will not be taken care of. That's why it's very, very important in the water and waste treatment plants. The cast iron is very important. In this, energy generation is also important, where the energy conservation methods, the casting of the cast iron, like for example, the pumping pillars and the ground crust pipes and all these things, we have to important used to cast iron also. Marine industries also, oil and gas sectors, kitchen appliances, and renewable energy, because of the less corrosion is there in the cast iron method. Definitely it will be desired shapes will be prepared by us in this. Conclusion, the foundry process stands as a cornerstone of the in industrial manufacturing, and shaping the foundation of the numerous sectors with the production of durable and versatile cast iron component. Because as desired ways we want, which shape we want, actually. Like example, the spoons, cutleries, and all these things we can prepare the what is called the knives and all these things. Whatever the customer attractive definitely it will be worthwhile and all this. If you see the now the presently the steel industry or steel utensils attracted by all the ladies of the housewives, definitely they will purchase what is called more in their houses also. That's why the product will be very attractive to look after by taking all the steps in the foundry itself. Before going to the steel plant, the foundry is also very important to make the what is called cash and manufacturers of this. What are the safety preventive measures in the foundry metallurgical process industries include personal protective, regular maintenance, moisture, noise control, and training and education, temperature control, emergency preparedness, and the raw material inspection, and the fire prevention. These are the very, very important safety prevention measures during the foundry process involved. As a safety officer, we have to see that these are the some of the safety prevention methods. But apart from this, other than this, also in your experience, may comes what is called many. But these are the some important areas where we are taken care of without having any difficulty and absence also. Personal protective, wearing the PPE, like in various steps, what we discussed in the various steps, for example, the 1, 2, 3, 4, like for example, this melting, degassing, mold making, foundry, pouring, shakeout, degating, and the heat treating, surface cleaning, and finishing. These are the steps are very, very important areas where we need to wear the PPE by all the employees who are involved in their process and all. Each activity is important, its own important, and the protective equipment is different, and we have to be very sensitive area to take care of. The wearing PPE like respirators, gloves, and other protective clothing helps to protect workers from chemical hazards, extreme temperatures, and physical dangers also. These are the PPE should be used by taking these hazards. Wearing PPE like respirators, gloves, and other protective clothing helps okay. Don't the chemical hazards and extreme temperatures and physical dangers also, because the PPE is not simply a respirators, gloves, and other protective clothing helps, because this is a very important area. Other protective cloth means the organizations having the exposure to that foundry process in years together. By taking that experts of the industry, foundry process people and all organization people, they have to select the best PPE of the protective clothing to suit to the various process what we discussed earlier. That is their experience depends upon, apart from the physical dangers and all. After taking this regular, the inspection is also necessary, whether the people are wearing or the shortcut methods are doing or not supposed to what if they are wearing or resistance to change or resistance to wearing. Like this, they are inconvenience feeling the atmosphere. That is also we have to find out and see the convenience of the employees, workforce also. Do that wise, the regular inspecting and maintaining the machinery and the cutting tools help to prevent injuries, because the regular maintenance will help us the proper working of the PPE wear by the employees. Even some of the employees are wearing the PPE is they are having some resistance because of some inconvenience. That is also we have to find out. Other alternatives we have to find out. Simply we are ordering and forcing them, or the directly what is called without telling the reasons and all. We are forcing autocratic management. We cannot. That's why we have to see the regular maintenance and convince the people which danger is. That's why we have to first of all we have to know what is the consequences happen if it is uh, uneven things are happened. That should be exposed to the employees during the training. Therefore, they know the importance of the PPE, and they are having the fear to not to wearing also, but they are having the very cautious to wear also. That is a moisture control is very important, because of the one side is heating, another what is called cooling, again finishing, again what is called heating. Like this, some uh, um, um, uh, different steps involved in the foundry process. Keeping that with the environment, we have to see that the moisture control is also there. For example, keeping the foundry floor dry helps prevent accidents because the where the very very heat is there in the most lot of water will be there used in the foundry process to cooling process for the cooling process. At that time, if you are not maintain the slopes of the floors, definitely drained water will not be gone, and the one side is stagnant will be there. Therefore, moisture will not be controlled. That's why we have to see the foundry floor should definitely dry. The noise controls also we cannot see this. Definitely, noise controls will be taken care of by wearing the PPE like shock absorber, like equipment shock absorbers. Suppose a motor 420 HP is there, we have to provide the shock absorbers for the motor and the any barriers to be taken care of to prevent the hearing damage also. The another thing is not red color, but it is a ventilation. Installing the quality ventilation equipment helps to reduce the exposure also. Here is ventilation means it is not the lighting or it is not the environment, but it is gives the sunlight has to be fallen in that area. Therefore, the ventilation will be proper and see that what is called the top of the walls. We have to put some glass windows also. Therefore, during the daytime it will be given without using the lighting also. It gives the ventilation property also. That's why in the building constructions also we have to see that foundry process. Of course, the training and education is very important. Ongoing training helps to workers recognize the hazards and respond emergency. Everybody think that one time is given the training is over, that is all, that fellow is already placed in finishing product or in the degating product or in the surface cleaning. Like this we cannot leave him like this. We have to continuously telling inform finally they will become an educated during the training also. That's why the training is an ongoing process. Temperature control, properly controlling temperature helps to prevent injuries and the optimized process because various processes are there. Unless, like for example, pouring, melting, heating, heat treating, surface cleaning, all these are handling with the hot products only. Hot what is called objects only here is it. Unless otherwise the properly controlled temperature, we cannot what is called see that that fellow will be without injuries. They cannot come out from the shift. That's why we have to see that temperature control also there. You have to see that any temperature is there asked to take the employees to take more water. In some of the areas in steel plants also and the foundry process also where the heat involved is there, they are giving the respect of the what we call seasonal. They will issue the lemons also, lemons, because they'll take the lemon water means whatever they are losing the salt from the body from their bodies through the sweat. There again the lemon water taken into the body. Therefore, the salt whatever they loses in the body, it will be replenished and regained in the body. The employee could not be strained or could not be lose interest or they having a energy regain also. That's why in hot industries also they used to give the lemons issuing also irrespective of this seasonal this thing. They'll take the lemon and the salt water also. They can take the lemon with salt. They'll be definitely it will be whatever the salt lose by the sweat from the body, human body, definitely it will be regained. This is one of the important steps we can take. Emergency preparedness is also the essential. Every organization having the emergency response procedure is there. But where in that we have to see that it properly uh, explained to the employees who are the first aiders, who are the ER team members, emergency response team members, who are the first aiders, who are the what is called them the safety stewards world. They are what is called thing the very important. That's why they are giving the helmets also. They as I told in the helmets also they give the some symbols. Therefore, they treated as these are he is the first aid person, he is the ERT member, he is the safety steward member. Like this, we can identify by the employees. They can help from them. We can take also. Raw material inspection also very important because of the ore which we taken, the melting industries will come. They're having the molten melt also in the form of powder, in the form of the crystals, in the form of the molds will come. That inspection of the raw materials for contaminants helps to prevent the violent reactions when introduced with the molten metal. Because the very powdery materials is also there in the raw material in some of the foundry process, where the ice will be like Pond's powder, like this very fine powder will be there in some of the raw materials in the foundry process. You have to be very careful by wearing the goggles and not to spoil your what is called ice. Therefore, fire prevention is not but very important. Is separating work areas using the automated equipment helps to prevent the fires and explosion. Because all things the crane operator will operate the tilting of the pouring of the melt into the molds or castings. It's a very important area. That's why the fire prevention is also inside, and see that all fire extinguishers and suitable things to be nearby. 10 minutes is there. Anyhow, the first meeting in the now it is going to the steel plant here. This is metallurgy we completed, the foundry is completed, and the steel plant is. Steel plant is also similar to what is called almost all this thing, but foundry is making the only the blocks, where the steel plant is having the different products we are coming to discuss in the coming slides also. Before taking the what is the product of the steel plants also, everybody knows, but we need to discuss as per the subject theory is there. That means separate syllabus is there. 6 steps to of the steel manufacturing process is there. There are many other steps are there, but only the as a safety officer, you should know these are the steps are very important for your employing of the your duties and responsibilities. In suppose if you are in steel plant or any foundry or metallurgical process. Steel is known for being lightweight but strong, making it suitable for variety of industries and applications. Next to plastic and paper, steel is the one of the most common materials seen in products used in our day everyday lives. Very, very important point. As you all know, but even the author wants to say steel is known for being lightweight but strong, making it means steel, you know that iron and carbon only, making it suitable for a variety of industries and applications. Next to plastic and paper, this steel will be a important item to the people during their everyday lives. In the construction industry, steel is used in the creating buildings and other structures for strength. You know, manufacturing processes such as for cars, airplanes, and kitchen appliances also reliably depend on steel for production. These are the very in construction, not only in the construction industry. Steel is used in the creating buildings and other vertical structures and for strength also. Manufacturing process such as cars, airplanes, kitchen appliances also rely upon the steel. Last but not least, steel is imperative. Imperative for comparative means important, or we can say a compulsory item, or the you can say used in our daily lives for communication, as it is used in the creation of the transmission and cell phone towers also, where it is also not only in the construction of the industries, not only in the cars, airplanes, and kitchen and all these things, and kitchenwares also, but it is also important for the communications like wires for the communication technology, telephone communications. transmission of the voice, transmission of the sound, creation of the transmission, cell phone, towers also important here is. The following 6 steps of the steel manufacturing process here is, first of all, making the iron. Second one is primary steel making, secondary steel making, the casting again, because making into wires, making into pipes, making into channels, making into beams, like this. Primary forming important, and the step 6 is secondary forming also. We'll know the one by one, where it gives the one schematic diagram of the steel manufacturing here is iron ore, coke, limestone, and where the blast furnace will be there, it will be burned the iron ore and the coke in the blast furnace. Here the recycled steel will go into this, because the scrap in the form of, or in the process, what are the raised, or what are the manufacturer and the quality control has not passed that material, that will be recycled in this process after the blast furnace, because already melt is over, already shaped is over, already chemicals are added. Finishing is also completed. That's why after the blast furnace, before basic oxygen furnace, it will be added in the scrap. Then this is one the mechanical process like basic oxygen removal and all. This is electric arc furnace. There are two things we have discussed earlier. The metallurgy itself, one is basic oxygen furnace, and that basic oxygen means heating. Electric arc furnace means electricity like electrolysis and all. These are two methods are there. Then it is coming to the continuous caster, bloom, billets, slab, where it is coming from electric arc furnace, becomes pouring ladle and the ingot. Ingots means modes casting, we can say. Electrolysis and that. We already discussed about the metallurgy, but as the steel plant, these are the whether this process or this one. Sometimes what is called in the steel plant, they have what is called both the process also. Like this finished product will come in the form of wires, pipes, sheets, beams, channels, like this it will come, the steel manufacturing process. Coming to the step 1 here is, if you see this, scrap metal is dropped via a scrap bucket into the electric arc furnace. See, for example, this of the one of the electric furnace is the electric arc furnace here is, scrap metal will be followed on the what is called this. It will be dropped into the bucket of the electric arc furnace here is. The steel, the one is making the iron. Steel is a metal alloy. That means steel is an iron and carbon metal alloy made of iron and carbon. Thus, the steel manufacturing process starts making by iron only. To do this, limestone, coke, and iron ore are combined to put into a blast furnace. That's what we told here is. Therefore, the elements are melted together and create a hot metal known as melted iron. That is called smelt, we called as. It is a intermediate stage between the liquid and the solid. That is the molten melt. This is the one of the figure where the scrap metal is dropped into the via scrap bucket into electric arc furnace. Then one of the what is called electric arc furnace. We have to be very careful. One is coming like this, another is coming ready to what is called pour into this. That's why. Then second one is the primary steel making step 2 is there. Second step, once the blast furnace is already added, to do this limestone, coke, and iron will be blast furnace. The molten iron will become in the from this first step. Primary steel making is what is going to be do here is. The second step of the steel manufacturing process can be completed with two different pieces of the equipment. One is a basic oxygen furnace and the electric arc furnace. These are the primary steel making. Depending upon the financial availability, depending upon the nature of the ore, depending upon the material, depending upon the product, whether it's channel, wires, or the beams, or the pipes, or the rods, depending upon the equipment, whether they go for the basic oxygen furnace or for the electric arc furnace. We will get detailed in the coming slides also. Where is basic oxygen furnace will means it's a less cost. Only the with oil it will be heated in the presence of air only, because the electrical arc means the electric power is necessary by giving the state electricity boards. With basic oxygen furnace, the molten metal produces step 1, that is called the step 1 areas, is infused with scrap metal. That means again the again infused with in the basic oxygen pressure. It is infused with that means again melt with molten. After the molten form, molten form, it will come in the basic oxygen, and also at that time the basic oxygen furnace, the recycled steel is also will be added here. Whereas in the electric arc furnace directly added the recycled steel here is not the question of the all the ore and all blast furnace and all. Directly recycled steel only is added here is because recycle is already purified from the product only is remaining see